What's up, everyone? We've got another awesome episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. Today, another legendary guest has graced us with their presence. Introduce yourself, please, bro.
Hi, I'm here. I'm the legendary guest, Ruxin 34. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. This is such an awesome guest to have, guys. Look, I say this all the time. It's quite crazy sometimes, some of the guests that we managed to land. So the fact that we got someone like Ruxin to come on the show is absolutely epic. If you guys aren't familiar with his content, look, you're missing out. Yeah, so stop being unfamiliar and get familiar with it. But before we get into some of the meatier topics later on, do you mind give us a bit of an intro into yourself, bro? Just kind of what led you to being on YouTube, what led you to being the kind of YouTuber you are now, and etc. etc.
Well, it's a long story at this point. I need to find a more concise story for these kind of things. But I was into Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid, and I took a very long break. I came back. Duel Links basically got me back into being interested in Yu-Gi-Oh. I was playing a lot on there, and then I decided to start buying cards, started recording it, and somehow I ended up people started watching. I'm not really sure how, but it happened.
I do think your journey to the top has been insane. Like, I think I heard MBT say this. I'm not 100% sure if it's correct, but looking at the stats, I think it is. I think you're the biggest growing YouTuber other than Team Samurai X1, right? Like, you're currently on, what, 150,000 subscribers? Maybe higher?
Like 200k, right?
Yeah, we're at
What?
208 right now.
Oh, wow. I'm playing you
maybe
down,
I'm like
Ruxin, I'm
average,
sorry.
but I feel like head-to-head battles has passed me in terms of growth numbers. They've been going crazy recently, but I'm definitely not beating Sam. But we did have a great run from 2020 to now. We gained basically all of our subscribers, so been about 50 to 60k a year, which is awesome.
That is an insane growth. I think actually the first time I actually heard about your channel, I believe you did like a box opening of like an LOB case, first edition. Was that one of your first moments that went viral, would you say, or was it like, were you on the come up before that?
Well, our big video that like really launched, I was at like 1,500 subs when I opened it, just a regular LOB first edition box, and that one got like 80k views in 2 days or something. And I had never had 1,000 views on one of my openings, so like obviously huge, and gained a ton of like actual people interested in opening product, and that's kind of what I did. So they kind of stayed around, and I had like a viewer base all of a sudden. Like I had a couple hundred people before that, and then it went to like 3,000 or 4,000 every video, because I was just doing all that stuff. But we did do the case thing where we went out and bought that case and verified it, and I pulled a Trihorn Dragon. It was crimped. That one did really well. I think I had like 3 straight videos that weekend of like big stuff, and they all did really, really well. So we gained a lot of like following from that. But that was still 2020, so it was pretty early.
What was that like going from like I can't even imagine that, like going from obviously having like videos that like you just get a couple hundred people watching to having thousands. Like, what's your thought process when that happens? Like, yeah, and then how do you also convert that from being kind of a smaller YouTuber to being like, okay, I'm gonna take it seriously and make this an actual career?
Well, in late 2019, I had already been doing some openings, but I decided in 2019, I'm going to be consistent with this. I'm going to post at least, I didn't decide to do daily yet, which I did pretty soon after, but I decided I'm going to do like 4 or 5 videos a week. And it doesn't matter what the views are, I'm just going to keep posting them. So I had built up a big backlog of like actual like decent openings. I mean, like the thumbnails and titles, and I wasn't that excited or interesting at the time, but I at least had like cool product that was being opened. So when that big one hit and had that crazy moment where I pulled the red eyes in the last pack, there were so many videos for people to go back and watch. I remember the Shadow of Infinity box I had opened it went up to like 40,000 views too, and it was like one that had like a 500 views on it. And it was like, I mean, it had done well for me, but like it went to a crazy number just because everyone had gone from that LOB to that Shadow of Infinity box. And so I had kind of created the habit already of how to like do this YouTube thing. I didn't change anything. I was like, okay, people are watching now, so now I just have more motivation to do it. But I didn't actually change what I was doing because I had already decided I was going to be consistent with it. So it kind of worked out really well that I had already made that change and didn't have to like, oh wow, people are watching, I better start making content now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome as well. And I think what's pretty interesting as well is, like, again, as a incredibly meta focused YouTuber, it's surprising that I feel like if you were to look at a lot of the YouTube content creators right now, it's very easy for them to perhaps release content and do things that the average Yu-Gi-Oh person is average Yu-Gi-Oh person is probably interested in. So if you look at like Cali, he can just do like top 5. Not to hate on his content, I'm not hating on his content, but I'm saying like he can just like top 5 content and stuff like that. But I feel like with your content, one of the things that's so amazing is I feel like your personality is a really big part of it as well. You have to kind of just be interesting yourself, and you have to just have a good video yourself, because it's not enough just to figure out what was the top deck that was released. I mean, that doesn't really apply to a lot of the content that you do.
I think
that's a lot different from what I do, because I don't really have like, when the new deck or the new set comes out, I don't have to like analyze different things other than like, oh, this card is worth a little bit of money, let's try and pull it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's basically just me just trying to be interesting about it and trying to think of some way to make an opening different than like, I'm opening this box, watch it. Like I want there to be something else. Like maybe we're trying to go for a specific card. Maybe we're attempting to pull like our value back. Maybe we're doing a battle between 2 different sets. Maybe I'm searching for this card that I've had great luck with in the past, or like this set that I really like, and you know, just twist it a little bit different. You know, it's not easy all the time to come up with something to make an opening interesting, because sometimes you just can't. And so I have to like try to be exciting, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
Nah, absolutely love it. Sorry, Tom, you were about to say something. Can I cut you off?
No, I was going to say, like, I think another sort of big part of like your channel, anyways, from my experience, because you hit every button for me in terms of like a pack opening channel, is like, it's the nostalgia from like the older sets, because I've been playing since, I don't think I've been playing since LOB, because I think I was just too young, but sort of around that time. But also like, you open the new sets pretty much the day they come out. You can look at like pull rates and stuff. So for someone that likes that, like, I buy a bit of product every now and again, it allows me to kind of go, is it worth me buying this product and stuff? So you not only do you give those insights, but it's also like, I can sit there and just watch you open whatever old set and be like, I remember doing this too. And it's like a heartwarming kind of thing, which is awesome.
Ballpark figure, just wondering. How much would you say you spend on new product?
New product?
Yeah.
Per release?
Yeah, sorry, let me, instead of new product, I mean sealed product. Ballpark figure, yeah. How much?
Sealed product.
Yeah, sealed product in general.
It's a few $100,000 a year, I think. So, because I'm selling a lot. So I'm not like, you know, just because I'm spending 100,000, you know, if I spend like 400,000 a year, so I don't actually know the number. I'm gonna get better at my accounting this year. I was an accountant before. You think I would have this? I'm gonna get better at knowing exactly how much I'm spending. Maybe that'll help my business and everything. But it's a few $100,000, because you know, I have to sell, and just like you have to, if you spend a few $100,000, you have to sell that much, or like make that, and YouTube does not make that much. I will tell you, it does not make that much. So I'm selling a lot on TCG Player, stuff like that, to turn that over. But on the new sets, I'm usually not making much, because I am doing those big openings, and really it's like, hopefully I can break even, and then like the content will make me a little bit of money, you know. That's kind of the goal. And then if I get lucky and pull some like really good starlights, or like super nice like I pull a lot of the good secrets, then maybe I can make a little bit on those big openings. But a lot of time it's like, let's just not lose any money here, which is tough with some of these recent sets. I mean, they've been killing me. Like the last few releases have been pretty rough for the big purchases, because there's like no good cards. So it's really hurting.
Definitely, I think that.
That legendary dualist set, shall we?
Well, before that one, I was like, I'm just gonna get like maybe 2 cases of this one. Let's scale back.
Oh my god! So I'm gonna tell a story. We have a friend at our locals who he wanted to buy. What was it, the card that he wanted? It was the Link 4 Salamangreat from that set, and he was just buying packs and packs and packs of that set. And the way our heart was breaking, because it's like, normally like you open a set and there's at least like 1 or 2 like kind of relevant card, but he would like open the set and then it's like Battling Boxer, I don't know, Fist Punch or whatever they're called, and like Battling Boxer this, and it was just like, oh my gosh. And he bought like, I don't know, it was like 60 quid worth of this set, didn't hit everything, and I was just thinking, this is genuinely one of the worst sets I've seen in my life. Like there's nothing in it.
It's sad. It really is sad. I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do a video about like estimated value pulled of these recent sets, because I did that one kind of recently about how people are losing all their money and everything. So I thought it'd be fun to like delve into the estimated value pulled of each of those, and like obviously they're going to be terrible, so I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. And
I,
sorry, you go for it, Dan. You go for it.
No, I was just going to say, I think in terms of the new Legendary Duelist set, I think it's a shame because with the Legendary Duelist sets, right, they have like a few cards that are meta relevant, but they're also very big for nostalgia. But it didn't really seem like this set was the case. I mean, obviously, like, you know, the whole volcanic support thing aside, that's a very niche area of the community.
Yeah.
Even with like the Legendary Duelist Season 3, which like some people say was like not a great
Which one was
like
that
set.
again?
The reprint one with the hero cards in it, the Dark Magician Souls
Oh,
reprint.
okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you could argue that was a bad set, but it had enough for nostalgia and enough for meta relevancy as well. Like, obviously, maybe a little bit late, but the point I'm trying to make still stands. Like, I feel like that set in particular, like the new legendary set, and I feel like we had it with the duels from the deep one. It just seems like they're really missing the mark, which is a shame on the legendary duelist sets in particular, because they feel like they've really fallen from grace. But I do want to put this question actually to everyone. Ruxin, we'll start with you if that's okay. What do you think like makes a good set for you? Like, what kind of boxes does it have to tick?
Well, for me specifically, because I open packs, I want there to be a wide variety of like not like a lot of times you want it to be rarities, which is cool, but it doesn't have to be rarities. It just needs to be a specific distribution of nice cards. Like I just recorded a video about Darkwing Blast because it just got reprinted, everything in the tins. I loved that set because the super rares had some really strong cards in it, all the Bestial stuff, and they were like $10 supers. So you could open a pack and double your money or triple your money on a pack by pulling a super rare. Then you have a chance at also pulling an ultra rare, which there were some good ultras like Cashdura Fenrir, which was really awesome. Cashdura Unicorn, those were money. Then you have secret rares, which are nice, like the Cartesia and the Lubellion. So 3 different rarities you could hit like decent value or decent cards to play. And then you have Starlights, which are just like the big chase. So you have that lottery chance as well as any rarity could be something good versus like, I don't like a set where you open it up and it's only secret rares that are good. So it's like the ultras are crap. So are the supers. So you're kind of just opening and like once you pull your 2 secrets, you're like, who cares about the rest of this box unless like randomly pull a Starlight. I really like the distribution there. And then if they have extra rarities, like, and, you know, the rarity collection is going to be cool with all those different rarities they're going to have. So that's what I personally prefer when I'm opening. And I think it just gives you good value for people opening up to even play the cards because then they're not losing all their, you know, money when they open it up.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think just to like piggyback on one point, one of the things I hate the most actually is when you open a set and it's like all the secrets are trash or something like that. It's just like, what's the point? So it's like you can't even get excited about opening it. Like the set that I'm thinking about, some people might disagree, but is it June Duelist Nexus? Like every secret in that is just, I don't want it. Like we've had a lot of tournaments lately, and it's like me and my mate, we just get stall credit because we literally don't want a pack of that because it's like no matter what we get, unless it's like a Starlight or something, we have no interest in it. Or is it not that it's 25th Advent quarter century rare, yeah. So it's like similar to what you said. Like yeah, that's the worst feeling ever. Yeah, I'll also say as well, another thing that I even though I do want sets to have value, for me I'm okay if a set doesn't have value as long as the cards in it are good. So I actually really like the Megatins. I think sometimes they miss the mark, but one thing I like about the Megatins, if it wasn't for the ban list, which is because Konami keeps breaking the game, but if it wasn't for the ban list, I really like the fact that you look at the Megatins, you can get all of the good meta decks from the last year in there. I think that's really cool. I like that. Like I don't really buy sealed products in general. The only sealed product I ever buy now, and this is I always buy one tournament, is the Megatins because I like how they look. And I opened the Megatins and there was like a Runic card there was a Kashtira card there was a Bestial card. I like the fact that it's just good cards. Like, so like, again, ignoring the ban list, it's like, I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, for me it's like value is important, but also just cards that I can actually use, I think is quite good.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Tom?
I think in terms of, I think like Ruxin hit the nail on the head with regards to like, obviously you want kind of almost any card you pull to be of good value, right? But that's not, unfortunately, not Konami's way of thinking, and they have to pad the set out, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to pull a dud. But I also think Joshua Schmidt recently made a really good point on like distribution and like prices of cards. And for me, I feel like as long as the set has like enough in there to like either boost older decks to bring them to kind of to the forefront of the meta, like Unchained right now, or like new cards that can just, I don't know, like new decent chase cards. I feel like the set's okay and at reasonable value. So like for resale markets, like for someone like myself, I don't buy loads of product. I tend to buy singles more often. So for me, the cheaper they are, the better they're going to be, right? But so yeah, for me, it's like I like them on the cheaper end, but also like when I open product, I do like to pull expensive cardboard, so it's like the double edge, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Like that's what makes a good set for me is like the kind of a critical mass of like playable cards. If like not every single card, but if there is a high number of cards in the set that is playable and it's affordable, I think it's a perfect set.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
So, for me, I look at it in two different ways. I look at it as like if I'm looking at a set as in like here are the cards number 1 to 100 or whatever, and then I look at a set as in I'm actually opening it. So for me, I think the best set of all time was probably Duel Devastator.
That's a solid. I mean, after the gold set, but yeah, definitely, I agree.
The gold sets, like again, they're great because they actually have like a lot of relevant reprints, and I am I am a little bit sad they're not doing them anymore, even though gold rarity is disgusting to me personally.
Wait, sorry. They actually are they actually not doing them again? I can't tell if you're joking or not.
As far as I'm aware, they're not doing them. If anyone knows different, feel free to weigh in.
This is.
Well, They kind of pause them and bring them back all the time. They'll be back.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Different version of gold. They did maximum gold. It'll be like ultra super rare gold or something next.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Sorry. Carry on, Dan.
No, I think for me, like in terms of like a set where I'm looking at it from the perspective of a set, it's like okay, like you guys have all made the points. Like there's value here. Like there's a lot of relevant cards, and even the cards that aren't as relevant, they have like maybe like a nostalgia factor. Like if we look at Power of the Elements, for example, that set was game changing for the meta, but it also had a lot of nostalgia in it with your Neos cards and what have you. So I feel like that was a really good set for both a casual side and a more meta relevant side. So I think no matter what, if you're opening that, you're going to be having fun. In terms of like other sets, like if I'm physically opening a set, I want it to feel like I was a kid again. To be completely honest, like I'm in a similar boat that a lot of other players are in. That like if I want a card, I'll probably just go and buy the single. But if like say for example I win a few prize packs at locals, or if I have a little bit of change and I feel like getting a bit of serotonin, like I want something that's actually just gonna make me feel nostalgic, like on a level, like take me back to when I was a kid, wanting to pull like Cyber Dragon or whatever. And I do think that's actually a part of a big reason why people watch pack opening channels, like to sort of get that vicarious sort of reliving just those cherished memories on the playground, opening up booster packs. So for me, it's like a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of meta. Like, but I'm a big fan of like when I know what I'm getting. Like, I like the structure decks. I like Duel Devastator. Like, I'm not really a gambler in it. So
I think your point about Duel Devastator is right. I think that's what makes Duel Devastator, in my opinion, like one of the best things they've released for me, because it's like you know exactly what you're getting, and what that was. Even though there was some like relevant cards in it, for the most part, most of the things in Duel Devastator, both 1 and 2, because they did it twice, right? It was Duel Devastator, and then Duel.
They did it once.
They did Duel Devastator, then they did another similar thing after they didn't they? It was like Duel something else.
Power, but it was you actually had to open that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of something else, but yeah, it's like I like the fact that there was actually good relevant cards. So you had all the hand traps, and then not only that though, even though I had all the hand traps, I still wanted to get it because it was alternate arts. So it's like I'm getting something cool out of it. So yeah, Duel Devastator was an insane set. I wish they'll do more. And kind of leading into that, I want to know what you guys think about the 25th anniversary set then that's coming. Or I don't know if that's what it's called, but the OCG set that with all the different rarities.
The rarity collection.
Yeah, what do we think about that, guys? Because I've heard a lot of mixed opinions about this, surprisingly enough. Some people really like it, some people don't.
Personally, I'm waiting for the reveals. I'm waiting to see if it's going to be like a randomized thing or if it's going to be a set thing like Duel Devastator, and what if the card choice is going to be any different. I think I don't envy vendors on that one, because I feel like trying to like price stuff up with everything being available in every rarity, that seems like an insane thing to me. My judgment is like I'm holding it until it comes out, but I think it'll be really good. I think it'll probably be one of the best sets we've ever had, if I'm being completely honest. Like, Ruxin, what about you?
The biggest problem for me with regards to it is like the price point. It's like I get it, because it is like it probably is going to be, as you've said, Dan, like the best set that I think Yu-Gi-Oh has ever had. because it is every single card in every single rarity. Well, not every single card, sorry, but every card in like every rarity that we can feasibly get our hands on, which I think is awesome. But like over here, so I don't know if you know the prices of cases over here, Ruxin, but normally I think it's like what 700 or 800.
It varies, but yeah, like
it's sort of around that. Cases are like 1,200 for this set, and like it's such a massive increase. Yeah, it's because it's like this. It's almost like in Magic where they do collector's boosters where everything is like a holo, and the price of those are like 3 times the price of a regular
that makes
booster.
sense. Sense.
But I also feel like that's kind of crappy. Like you're paying like probably an extra 1 to 2 pence per fucking card. So like, but you're charging like so much more on the markup. I get it. I get that they can do it, but I think that's the thing that upsets me the most. And also, there's been no reveals of it yet, like any reveals of the card list, which I'm a bit surprised about.
It's not due out till November, though, right? Sorry to cut you off there, Ruxin.
Yeah, it's November. I think that they said. I think over here it's like instead of $4.49 MSRP, I think it's 5, so it's an extra 50 cents per pack.
Okay.
So that does add up, and it's like. They kind of did that increase in value when they made everything like guaranteed super or whatever. So like when they added and made it so that we don't get rares anymore, we just get supers every packs or whatever. They bumped the price up again, and it's like that doesn't really add any value. So it's kind of weird that you bump the price, and they kind of did it again with this rarity collection thing. So it definitely feels kind of bad paying like $5 like per pack. But I do think the set is going to be pretty exciting, especially when it comes for me, like opening it up. Like it's going to be completely random. There's going to be like hundreds of different variations total from the 80 cards because of the 7 different rarities. So it's going to be wild. Like being a vendor and trying to like, I don't think they can't get every card. Like if they do, they're going to be opening 20, 30, 40 cases just to get like 1 copy of some of them. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So the interesting complaints I've heard about this is from a collector standpoint. Some collectors find this really annoying because some of the rarities, so the 2 examples that were obviously the collectors and the ultimate rare, one of my mates was like, well, it's really annoying for him because he got a lot of the cards, his cards are in these really high rarities, thinking, okay, like that's what's special. I've got my cards in that rarity, then now they're reprinting them in these. So what do you think about that?
Well, they've been doing that a lot recently with the 25th anniversary. Like they already hit IP Masquerena, Stardust Dragon, Black Rose. Those all had if you bought those before the reprint, 25th anniversary, different rarity, guys, but not really. So you pay like $500 for those cards, and IP Masquerena $1,500, which not many people are buying that. But if you were, it feels really bad when they come out with like a very, very similar rarity. So I know a lot of people do not like that, and I personally don't love it. We have 10,000 cards in this game, right? Like, do we need to hit the same ones every time? And if we do, we have alternate arts. We have IP Masquerade alternate art. Just make that the 25th. People would have loved it. They would have loved it. So I think there are a couple things they could have done where people would have loved it. They would have loved it. There wouldn't have been an issue with an IP Masquerade alternate art 25th anniversary, but they had to do, Stardust has an alternate art too. They could even make another one. How hard is that? I mean, it's not that hard. They got artists to make one, so that's definitely a real concern, but yeah.
Yeah, it does, like you said, Ruxin, it seems like from a vendor perspective, like trying to do pre-orders on this thing, like for singles, just seems impossible. It seems like trying to find the moon with like I don't know what metaphor I'm going to, but like it seems wild. Like how are you going to put a set amount of like I don't know, let's say pot of prosperity, we've got it in 10 rarities. Like it seems wild, but I think as sealed, I think it's probably going to bang like really, really hard. But I think we've had a little bit too much talk about sealed products, so I think we'd be remiss.
I have something that like actually is really irking me because I just remembered. So the rarity collection is supposedly like the leak was it was the OCG version of the set.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is it's that 80 card OCG set minus Maxi, which means Dingirsu is in there, and I am a massive Orcust fan, which means I'm going to have to buy 7. Well, technically, if I want to play 2 in my Orcus deck, I have to buy 14 copies of Dingetsu.
Oh my gosh!
And I am
This is how they get you.
It's gonna hurt the bank, to say the least.
Yeah, that seems
is
a
the
bit
one
painful.
thing that I just remembered, and I was like, oh my god, that is.
You know what
gonna
though?
be fun.
For people who really like a specific card that's in that, and like for binder collectors, you know, like people who have binders of like all the same card, I think that's going to be so cool for them. Like, imagine having a binder of like, I don't know, let's say Dingetsu, for example, and each page is it in a different rarity. That'd be so
Fill
cool.
a whole binder with one set, basically.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh, yeah. That'd be absolutely nuts.
Exactly. But again, I feel like we'd be remiss to not talk about a little bit of the meta right now, considering we've got one of the greatest minds, you know, 7-time YCS winner, innovator of the Tirishizu deck. If you guys missed the stream where he took on Joshua Schmidt, Patrick Hoban, and Jesse Carton in a 3v1
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah,
Nuts.
it was wild. It was like something out of the anime. So, Ruxin, when it actually, like, jokes aside, you have been known to play events and stuff, right? So like, how, like, when it comes to like, actually playing the game, like, what are your kind of views on that? Like, how do you pick a deck, things like that? Like, do you enjoy it more than anything? I guess talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I have played a couple of YCS. I wouldn't say I've played many, but I did enjoy doing them. But the problem is I never have time to like prepare at all. So I throw like a deck together. You know, I net deck everything. Don't let anybody hear this info. So they're all innovative. I made them up. So I just have like, I think I played like, first time I played like Dogmatica Invoked, you know, Shadal or something the first time. And then I played like Dinosaur when it was bad, but I played it on Master Duel. That's why I played it.
Okay.
So I enjoyed it, but I'm obviously not winning a lot of games. I think I won 2 or 3 matches total from the 2 YCSs. I usually drop out pretty quick, but it's fun. The problem is, the thing I don't like about it is you'd think that I would have time to like understand how to play, you know, it's my job or whatever, but it's really not, you know, because I don't really do anything with the meta. So every time I make a deck, I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this thing. And then like by the time it's time to use it, it's already outdated, you know? So I'm like, you know, there's all these new cards and stuff. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't work anymore. So the speed with it is like to keep up with the meta is insane. And if you're not like either fully dedicated to it, like on the side, where you're like, you know, you're like a Farfa or somebody that's like streaming it all the time or whatever, it's pretty tough to keep up with. So I enjoy playing. That's why I really like Edison format, because like there are innovations to it, but like I could still use my Diva Hero deck from 2 years ago and still like actually play the game. So I like delving in those older formats because I can just make my deck and then not change it for a long time.
Oh, I'll let you go. I feel like Dan about to say something.
No. I was gone.
Oh, so then in terms of like locals and stuff, do you have time to still go to locals and stuff right now, Ruxin?
I've never played a locals.
Oh,
I go there and I buy product from there, but actually technically I have entered a locals. When I did my first ever every pack opening where I opened all the packs, I did an OTS like whatever the current one was. It might have been like 13, which is actually crazy to think about how long ago that was. So I went and entered and then dropped out so I could get the pack.
Okay.
Well, I didn't have that pack, and like it was so new, like people weren't selling it anywhere or anything. So I had to go enter and get the pack from the locals. So that's the only time I've been in a local. So I did not win a game.
Did you have a deck prepared for that locals by chance?
No. I just showed up and I was like, can I just like enter this? And like they're like, yeah, you can just drop out. They'll get a win. I was like, all right. So I did. So somebody got a free win. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that's pretty. Like, the thing is as well, it's so interesting to me because it's like it's a side of Yu-Gi-Oh that it's obviously so popular. Like loads of people are into more of the product and things like that, and also I guess it's your job as well. But at the same time, it's just so interesting because on my perspective, it's like wow, like yeah, it's like you don't really play locals, you're not really into the game, but at the same time, you still got such a amazing passion for it as well. If, for example, let's say you had to pick. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Let's say you had to pick a deck right now.
All right. Oh, I got one.
Yeah. Oh, let's hear it.
Oh, I have a favorite deck for sure.
Let's go.
I've already kind of mentioned it, but it's not Invoke Dogmatica Shadal. It's Dark Magician Invoke Dogmatica Shadal.
Oh,
that's
my
my
gosh.
deck. So I
So-
play that on Master Duel sometimes. It's not good at all, but it is fun. I have the deck though. I have it built.
Is that like sort of like a dragoon sort of dot deck?
No. It just has like, it doesn't synergize that well, but it has just like kind of the normal Dark Magician stuff, like souls and everything, and whatever the field spell in the Eternal Soul, I think is that the Blue Eyes? Yeah, that's right, Eternal Soul. And then you bring it back and use Magician Circle to banish stuff, and then you just summon Alistair whenever you draw it, and that's your invoke part. And then there's like the Shadal is obviously the one Shadal's trap card you flip up and make Winda or whatever. And then Dogmatica, whenever you get, basically it's like you draw a Dogmatica, you summon Ecclesia, you search whatever, and you set up your Dogmatica. You draw a an Alistair, you set that up. So it's basically you just have to draw one card to like get that going. And then with Dark Magician's kind of the brick part. You kind of have to like, if you get souls, maybe it'll work. Otherwise, you draw Dark Magician like this does nothing right now. So it's fun, but obviously not very good. If you play it in like bronze or whatever in Master Duel, you could win some games.
Gosh.
I'll bear that in mind next time I'm building a deck to play ranked.
Yeah, it was one of the things I actually really like. Well, I say really like, but one of the things I find very hilarious about Dark Magician in general is that I feel like that deck really, really encourages the people who play it to be as bricky as possible. Like, every single card needs you to have like a vanilla Dark Magician in hand and stuff.
It sucks. It's the worst. Except that you get to play Ghost or Dark Magicians in your deck. That's the best part.
And there are some pretty awesome Dark Magician artworks as well. So, like, yeah, you can have a bit of fun with that, which is
There
definitely
is
really
a problem with that too, because there's so many good options for Dark Magician. You're like, do I play the Ghost? Do I play like the DDS? Do I play like I really like the secret rare version from the movie pack? So I'm like, do I play that? That's cheaper. It's a dilemma, and it's like the worst card in your deck.
This is like the most Chad. This is like the most Chad viewpoint I've ever heard. Like, plays Dark Magician, can't choose which is the best type rarity version for his brick.
How
I
hard
love
do you
it.
flex on your opponent? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It really must get the nostalgia rolling though, right? Ruxin playing that deck.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's why whenever I go back to I'll get into Master Duel for like 2 months at a time, and I'm like in love with it, and then I stop playing for 6 months. So soon I'll be back on it, and I'll be like, I'm back on my deck, baby. We're gonna be summoning Alistair and summoning Dark Magician from the grave. It's gonna be crazy.
I love that.
Which I did beat Gage with that deck, by the way. Just saying.
Oh really?
I beat Gage. There was some like Yugi Tuber tournament one time, and I played Gage with that deck, and I beat him. So
Oh my gosh.
it was good times.
I bet he was really, really happy about that.
He loved it. He loved losing to Dark Magician.
Oh gosh.
So
I hear him screaming just in the distance.
It was great.
So in terms of like nostalgia, again, your channel is one of those that really does definitely invoke such a great feeling of nostalgia and feeling like a kid again, sort of thing. I have a question to the floor. Ruxin, again, you're the guest. If we can start with you, if that's okay. You kind of already touched on it, but like, do you think there's like a specific card or like maybe like a moment in the anime or even like a deck that like really fills you with that moment of nostalgia? Or like, to rephrase the question, actually, like, what's like the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh? Like your first early memory of Yu-Gi-Oh that made you think, I love whatever this is, be it like opening packs, the show, whatever, playing it. Like, so I avoided that question badly, but you know where I'm trying to go.
My first like real, I have terrible memories, but when I kind of like try to think back to what it was when I went to McDonald's, got this card right here. Not this specific one, but the Millennium Shield from 2002. So I remember getting that card from the McDonald's pack, and I just remember being like, man, this thing looks really cool. And like they had the little they had the set list kind of that came with your Happy Meal or whatever it was, and you could see all the different cards, and the artworks were sick. And I was like, and I'm pretty sure that's where I got into it. I can't be 100% certain. I think that's where I started getting packs and stuff. Just because I got like the Yamadron. I think that's what it's called. It's like a common in that set, and it's like a 3 or 2-headed dragon, and it's really cool looking. And I just really like fell in love with it. And then I started getting into the game after that, and I would duel myself at home. You know, I'd have like 17 different decks, and you know, I'd be like after school, and I'd be like I'd be dueling on both sides. You know, so yeah, but like the McDonald's Millennium Shield stuff was really what got me into it.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
That's not it. That's, to be honest, like that's not something I hear a lot of people talk about. But when Fabs, have we lost you?
No, you haven't lost me. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, you just froze a little bit there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I feel like the McDonald's stuff, like, it was something that happened in the UK, right? I'm not gaslighting myself here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened in the UK.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, because it's something that I hear a lot of US talk about, like, but not really the UK.
I don't know if it did happen in the UK, because then there would be a Euro version, I think, at that point, like an E version.
Maybe,
Like,
yeah.
And there's not. So it might be a US only thing. US and Canada, maybe? Because I feel like Canadians have talked
Maybe
about
I am gaslighting myself.
it. I can't remember. That's actually interesting.
But yeah, no, it's because in America that must be something that got so many kids into Yu-Gi-Oh, right? But yeah, you don't really hear people talking about that in terms of like, you know, this their first big memory. It's always like I was watching TV and the Dark Magician came on and I was like, this is incredible, or like I was in the playground and there was some Gatling Dragon or what have you. So it's kind of refreshing, like, and it's sick to see that you've got the Millennium Shield as well. Like your inner child must be so aghast.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's really awesome. It's funny because whenever I hear about other people's nostalgic stories in my head, I'm always like, yeah, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh when I was 20 years old. Well, not 20, more like 19, 18. No, I've stopped.
No nostalgia.
I haven't even watched any of the anime. Like so I got into my friends used to play it in secondary school and in primary school, but I just wasn't into it. And then it was when I was in sixth form. One of my mates one day was like, "Oh, we should all play Yu-Gi-Oh!" because we were already into board games, and that's when I got into it. So, like, my first deck was Dark World, the structure deck for Dark World, and I never just got into the anime. So,
did playing it not make you want to check out the anime?
Kind of, but I'm not really a watch shows or TV person. Like, I've never really been into. I don't watch anime. Other than Dragon, the only anime, manga, whatever that I've watched or read is Dragon Ball Z, and I guess One Punch Man right now. But everything else, I'm not really on it. So yeah, I'm behind. Yeah, so it's like sometimes people will like drop a reference, and I'm like, yeah, that's that guy from the show. And it's like I don't know.
Yeah. Part of greed. Yeah.
That's the one with the hair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy that says Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, literally. Like, I didn't. I know some stuff, I guess, just by osmosis now, but yeah. So I haven't got my nostalgia is more like early days of playing. I guess that's where I'm nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like in a similar boat to you, Fabs. Like I started like way earlier, but I haven't watched any of the newer animes. Like when I was a kid, I watched like the original, like Duel Monsters and stuff. But like past that, never really got into the other animes. Because after watching the anime, got into the card game, stopped watching the anime because it stopped running. And then it was when I got back into it when I was like 15. A friend of mine was like, "Yeah, let's play Yu-Gi-Oh!" So we just like picked up a couple of structured decks and we're playing. And I remember a few years after that now, it was like Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, like that format. I think it was just after the Dragon Rulers got hit, and I decided to build Harpies. And I could buy everything. I could buy the whole deck like as a gift from my dad to me. The only thing I couldn't get was like Draco Sack, because over here it was like a 200-pound card. And I remember going to there was a little bookstore in my local town, and I remember going in there and I remember seeing them like selling the pack, and I buy a singular pack with like the last bit of change I have in my pocket, and I pull that Draco Sack, and that was like the most satisfying moment ever. I was just sat there like, I now own a 200-pound card, and I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to put it in my deck, and I'm going to be the happiest man on earth. And that's probably like my first happy moment. And then that same bookstore, a little while later on, when Primal Origin came out, and number 101, Silent on a Rock, was like the chase card. I remember buying 3 packs. The first pack I pulled the ultra rare, and then in the last pack I pulled the ultimate rare. And that was also like, I was just like, I need to like be older and so I can go and play the lottery. Like I need to do this like right now. But yeah, I'd say like that's the thing for me that is like the most nostalgic. Is
that bookshop still there?
I think so. I don't live in that town anymore. But I presume so because it's a Waterstone, so it's like a chain book.
Yeah.
So it should still be there.
Yeah, you might want to run through and grab a pack or two every once in a while.
Definitely make a pilgrimage.
Back home and head back to my hometown for sure.
One of the things, Ruxin, you can clear up for me. I see this often. I see pictures often, not pictures, videos often of like Americans, and not just Americans, it's every other country but this country, of people being like, I went into Walmart, I went into here and I bought a pack and stuff. Is that really that common? Like your stores just have Yu-Gi-Oh packs? Because I don't know if maybe I'm just silly, but like if I go into Asda, I don't think I've ever seen like a Yu-Gi-Oh pack in Asda. I don't think that's a thing really.
Yeah, well, in like before COVID, you could go into any Walmart ever or Target, which is like another thing we have over here. I don't know if you guys have that.
No.
Yeah, so it's basically just the same thing. It's just the red version. So you just go in there, and they all had packs, like a pretty big selection, like the last few sets and stuff. But once COVID hit and all the card craze happened, like everybody stopped selling it for a while. So it was really, really hard to find. But they're starting to come back now.
Yeah.
Where the ones around me have actually had pretty awesome selection recently. Like they'd have like recent 10s, they'll have like some structure decks, they'll have 3 or 4 core sets like over the last year or so for the most part, because not as many people are like buying every pack anymore. So it's been really nice to be able to like have access to that, because it's always like good content when it comes out and stuff like that too.
And sorry, just in terms of price point as well, was it like similar to like if you were to just go to like your local game store and buy it, or is it like just different price?
They're usually like MSRP like $4.49 per pack, so it's pretty expensive like compared to like a booster box if you were to buy that. So it's not really worth it in terms of like comparing it to going to buy a booster box from your local store usually. But it is very convenient. Like if you're in there, you can go ahead and grab something. But occasionally, I think recently they did sort of if it's an older blister, you got them for $3.33, which is like $1 and something off. So that was a little bit better on those older packs.
Wow. Okay, yeah. I don't know. We need to get that slot happening down here, because like again,
it's so rare finding cards. Like so certain supermarkets do, but it's like 1 in a million.
Yeah.
I'll see like I don't know if you guys see it on the trade groups, but like it'll be like, oh, Asda in middle of fucking Nowheresburg has packs, go and grab them, and they're like, it's like, A, why are you posting this in the trade group? B, thanks.
They're in like Smith's toy stores, right?
Yeah, so Smith do them, but like
that's it.
Yeah, we don't even have Toys R Us anymore.
Brilliant. A bit of a shame.
It's if you want packs like in the UK, like unless your Asda is one of those Asdas that is lucky enough to sell blister packs of Battles of Legend Crystal Revenge, you pretty much just got to go to your local game store. Otherwise, it's straight online if you want to open Yu-Gi-Oh packs. And it's been a similar thing to, not to go off topic, but like with Lorcana as well. Like I imagine when that hits the mainstream, it'll be a similar kind of thing. Like I imagine you won't be able to get hold of that for no money either.
Has anyone here tried Lorcana?
Yes. I actually think it's really fun.
Okay.
It's so, because it's like Magic, but it's like Magic and Pokemon, because there's no mid-turn interaction like Pokemon, but it's also got the mana and resource system how Magic does. But it uses the resource system from like how, I don't know if you guys have played Dragon Ball, but basically it's any card will have a certain symbol to allow it to become mana.
Okay.
That's how it works. So you place any card face down, you don't have to play like lands or anything. And yeah, it's just like, it's so simple. They have like 4 keywords, and like that's the most worrying thing. That's the biggest thing you have to worry about. And like, it's literally, my guy's bigger than your guy. Cool. And okay, I'm gonna quest for this much, because obviously it's questing and not like attacking directly and stuff. It is really, really fun. Probably not something that I would like delve into further as like a competitive player, but it's something that like if my friend's got 2 decks, I'll sit there and play if I'm bored of Yu-Gi-Oh for a little while.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fair enough.
It's interesting.
I think Lorcana's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it, and I feel as though I don't see a problem in another card game becoming very popular. I think part of the reason why the OCG is looked at more favorably in terms of like how they release cards and stuff, and like how product is treated there, is because it's so competitive over there. So if our market ended up being like that, I wouldn't see a problem. So yeah, I'm all for other card games becoming more popular and other good card games being released. It'll be quite cool.
Definitely. From a vendor perspective, Ruxin, have you thought about like moving into any other card games in like as your primary thing? Because I know you do a little bit of Pokemon, right? Like on the channel at least.
Yeah, I am going to probably start doing a couple more Pokemon openings, not a ton, but I am going to open 151 this month. which has already been really hyped. So I'm excited to do that. Other than Pokemon, because I do actually have a connection to Pokemon. I have a Pokemon channel that I do gameplay on and stuff like that. So I'm a big Pokemon fan. So it's like really easy because like as a kid, I played the games. I had some of the cards. Like it's basically the same as Yu-Gi-Oh for me in terms of like the nostalgia. I've been around in it for a long time. The other stuff, it's a little harder because it's like it's a new thing. Like I have to like get into it. You know, I don't have any connection to it. Like Magic, I've done a few openings of that. You know, there's been bad, there's been good. I've got some good ones coming out for that, but it's different for me because I don't know anything about it. Like I've played like one time, so I kind of have a very small understanding of how that works and stuff. So stuff like that, and then Lorcana, I wanted to do an opening just because like it's Disney, I would understand at least like who the characters were and everything, but I couldn't get it. It's just too many people into it.
Yeah, I think my LGS, they bought, I can't even remember how many cases, but it was like when I heard it was like eyebrows raised, like holy shit, you bought that much, and they almost sold out. They had 2 boxes left after release day, and I was like, it's so crazy. Like even the merchandise, like because they're doing binders, they're doing sleeves, like everything went other than like 2. I think it was like 2.5 boxes. I think they had some booster packs left over. It was crazy. Like that game is, and to be fair, it's like it does hit the right buttons. It is it's pretty fun, and it's like IPs that people know. Like even people like my girlfriend who doesn't play card games. I tried to teach her Yu-Gi-Oh, and she threw Dragon Maid cards in my face. Fun. It was like she just does not deal with card games, but she saw Lorcana and was like, I would be very much interested in playing this because I recognize all these faces. So it's like, they like, I think it was like an amazing business decision, but I definitely think they underprinted, or people are just crazy, which I could believe more probably.
I think that's probably a good thing because as long as it's if they're underprinting, that's always better than overprinting. And then as long as the game is like decent, like you say, that's the most important thing for those new card games. The game has to be decent. Like you can't just have a collector like thing. It's not going to work out unless people are actually willing to play it. So it sounds like if it's decent and they're not printing too much right now, that's promising for the future of it.
100%.
Yeah, well, they have just announced the second base set as well. Like
okay.
and stuff, so they are like they're really on the ball with it. Something that isn't really on the ball though is the competitive scene. Apparently, they aren't starting like regionals and stuff until the third base set drops.
Oh gosh,
So-
how long is that going to be?
No
Probably like
idea.
start of next year, right?
Something like that. So it's like a few months away, but it's still like people want to get straight into that. Like people want to be like the first kind of competitive players, right? And all you're doing is you're allowing the player base to build, whereas like you already know you're going to have a buttload of players traveling to events. Just to be like the first person to win like their equivalent of a YCS.
Yeah, definitely. That is actually going to be really awesome because think about it right now, like with the exception of Yu-Gi-Oh, most card games do really good pricing. Most card games, it is quite a big thing when you win, and like Disney is not a small company, so I can imagine that they're really going to pull out all the stops, like in terms of what the event will be like, and then also in terms of like things like pricing. There's a chance I could also see them being like, having a bit of a mentality of the Yu-Gi-Oh thing and maybe trying to somehow separate the casual players from the competitive players. But I think in general it's going to be pretty explosive and pretty massive when they finally do their competitive event. Yeah, I was struggling. My words are struggling today.
It's okay, you got there in the end.
Yeah, we got what you meant. But speaking about big events, Ruxin, one of the last videos we saw from you at a big event was on MBT's one of his side channels.
Yes,
the little Banlist reaction we got from you there. Like, obviously, you are one of the greatest minds in the community when it comes to these kind of things. Banlist season is rolling around the corner. Would it be incredibly cheeky of us before we move on to one of our last sections for us to get a little Banlist prediction from you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared.
Lay it on us, my friend. Lay it on us.
Okay. All right. Ban lists. Very important to the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. We need to ban cards. Okay, it's important because if you don't ban them, they're playable. That's the important part to remember. Okay. So, first of all, we got to get rid of the Cash Tira. We got to get them out of here. Ban them. Send them out. Nobody likes them. They're boring. They're lame. We want to play new cards. I've been saying this. I've been harping on it. Just go watch me and MBT. Yeah, Banlist reaction. We got to get those out of here. That's my number one concern. We got to do it now. Secondly, we need to bring back some good cards. Old school cards. I'm talking if they're released in 2002, we want them back. I'm thinking Pot of Greed. Think about that. You play it, you draw 2 cards. It's a strong card. Let's bring that one back. Let's bring back, what else do we want? How about Mirage of Nightmare? That could be fun. Let's bring that thing back.
What is that? The draw 4 and then discard 4?
Yeah, draw 4, discard 4. MST that thing. You're good to go. Draw 4. That should be strong. Oh, confiscation. I mean, who doesn't love ripping a card out of somebody's hand? I have a good feeling about this. I think that this could be a great ban list. The reactions will be incredible. Think about all of the videos that people will make. People are like, oh, whoa, they unbanned Pot of Greed. It'll be crazy. That's my prediction.
How many would you put Mirage of Nightmare at? Would you put that to limited, or would you put that bit straight into the unlimited section?
I mean, if you're going to bring it back, you got to go full force. I would go all 3 because at this point you got Pot of Greed too, so you might as well just draw cards. Deck out strategy. I mean, you'll have to worry about decking yourself out. It'll be that's the balance right there.
Yeah, Exodia will definitely be a tier 1 meta threat in that.
That's another thing. That thing's at 1. We got to bring that back to 3. Rare Hunter style. The guy in the anime. I know you haven't seen the anime, some of you guys here, but yeah, we got to have 3 of each. That way, it's even more likely to get Exodia'd.
Exactly, and as Yugi said famously, you could clog on the Exodia, so it is fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
exactly.
we need Ruxin format at the next YCS. That needs to just be a thing. Can't we just you enter Ruxin format? Yeah.
There'll be people flipping tables at my format. It's gonna be great.
How would you hit the
one
Cash
for
Tira?
3 on a ban list prediction? Fair enough. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's beautiful. So what do you guys think, anyways? Like, what do you guys think is like ban list predictions? What do you guys want? Because I've definitely since the last time we spoke about this, I've actually like changed some opinions.
I'm actually not sure. Like on a level, like I don't really know what I'm expecting. Like, so I want Runic to go away. That's pretty much what I want. Like, I remember watching a video of you playing against them Cold 40 Ruxin, like playing against him on the Runic deck, and I think you're on Sword Soul, and I think your reaction to the deck says it all.
I hate that deck.
I hate that deck so much. That deck is
Runic is so unfun.
Yeah, I remember before it even released, when it because obviously we always see the cards from OCG before they come here. I remember for months I was just dreading playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I was I was literally counting down time in terms of it's 4 months till Runic releases, it's 3 months till Runic releases. I kept telling myself, I was like, this deck is so flipping annoying. Like I can't think of why it would ever be released. Like, this is I was playing DB. I haven't played DB in 3 days, and the reason why this is a big deal is because anyone who knows me knows that this season I've played in a ridiculous amount of DB. But the reason why I haven't played in 3 days is because I got decked out by a Runic player 3 days ago, and I'm still pissed off about it. He activated Runic Fountain 3 times on his own turn. And I was like, what is this deck? I was like, why does it exist? Why does he keep drawing cards and why are my cards? Oh, that deck.
That's why I quit playing Master Duel for the last few months. There's too many Runic decks. I got to the point where it was half Runic, and I was like, I'm out. I can't play this.
That deck is,
The thing is, the cards are so crazy. I don't like Runic. I hate Runic. But I went to I can't even remember what kind of event it was. It was a higher than a locals event, and I was like, I want my best chance of winning or doing well, topping. So yeah, I'm just gonna play the Live Twin Runic Sprite deck, right? It was just so unfair. But my brain was off half the time. I was just like, I don't even need to think with this deck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Draw 3? Yeah, sure. Oh look, I have more interruption. Oh, anyway, Sprite combo kill you, and it was just like, it was so unfun for myself and my opponent. It was just like, but normally I wouldn't play it, but I just wanted to do well at this event, and it's just.
Yeah.
Did you do well?
Ban Hugin.
I banned the whole deck, to be fair. Take Fountain to 0, man. I've had enough of that deck. I don't want anyone playing that deck, man. I'm not interested in seeing another Runic card for as long as I play Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah.
Did you do well at the event, Tom, out of curiosity?
Yeah, I topped.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, my guy.
Lovely.
Because
I had no fun doing it, because I was there Fountain, target 3.
See, I had a similar experience with Runic,
Right.
but this was like in the heyday when Mystic Mine was still around. We had the
Yes.
demise of the land. Me and
Oh,
Fabs
yeah.
went to a region, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna annoy some people, and yeah, I annoyed some people with Runic. Got top 8, and I was quite happy that I never had to play the deck again after that.
Yeah, oh, gosh,
That shouldn't be Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
nightmare of a deck.
So, in terms of our ban list discussion, I think we've really done well there. Mirage and Nightmare to 3, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm a big
it's
fan
gonna
of
be
that.
big. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a meta-changing, meta-defining.
What,
Yeah.
what do you think about this card, Ruxin? What do you think? This card should come back, right? This is currently banned. Oh, it's back.
I've never seen that card in my life. What set is that in?
It was Flames of Destruction.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't open a lot back then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's where the Nightmares debuted, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, all the other.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that there was a card that was really crazy out of that and got banned, but now I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one, and then it was the Nightmare Goblin as well.
Yes.
Like,
Gave you an
Oh,
extra
the
noise.
Goblin might have been the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be
But,
nice.
yeah.
It would be nice if we had that as well. To be fair, one thing I think we might get, because I don't know if you guys saw today, they announced new support
The
from
Magispectors
Magispectors,
support, right?
and one of the cards specifically says special summon a level 6 or lower a Magispector deck card from your deck, which really signals that they're either trolling us or they're probably gonna unban Magispector Kirin. So it'll be interesting to see.
Ooh,
if
I just
Konami
pulled
does
one of
that.
those the other day.
Oh,
A
did you?
rare
Oh,
version
lovely. Yeah.
Out of Dimension of Chaos.
Yeah, so we might be getting that back. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it's like Konami does that and then they don't do anything. So
gonna head to eBay and buy every single copy of Magispector.
to be fair, it's like £1. It's like
Yeah, it's cheap. It's a rare, so
yeah.
You know what? I know we said we were going to move into like one of our last topics, but on the subject of like weird, like buying weird cars, and we've seen since the YCS, like Marionette Might has been bought out because it's a tech against Unchained. Ruxin, like as a vendor, like how do you deal with things like that? Like, because I imagine like there's every so often someone there's a buyout of like this super old card, and you like, is it like a case you just dig it up out of like whatever, or like is it annoying, or do you just think, oh, it's money at the end of the day?
well, the best story for me about that was when Branded Opening went crazy. It went to $25
yeah.
as a super out of Dawn of Majesty. Well, I had opened 13 cases of that set searching for the Stardust. And I don't pull out supers if they're not $1. So I just had, this was before I bulked out all my stuff. I actually just had it sitting over there, and I was like $25 a pop. I bet I have a ton of these. So I spent 5 hours searching through those and found 70 copies. So then I sold them all for $25. So it was worth the 5 hours for sure. But when I saw that thing went up to 25, I was like, I'm looking for these suckers. I spent forever going through that bulk. But nowadays I actually bulk out all my extras, so it won't happen in the future. But some stuff that like I think there might be a chance of, or I've heard, I'll like put it to the side now. But Branded Opening, I had no idea that was going to be. Probably should have, because it was only half the branded stuff. But when that happened, I was so excited because I think it was like $2,000 worth of cards just for like. Because I lost money on that opening, because Dawn of Majesty was kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Then I like made my money back after that. I was like, sweet, let's go.
Freaking heck. That is absolutely. The thing is, as well with Dama, it's like, I don't know why we all just missed the mark on Branded, because the Alubas, it was the same thing where Alubas shot up to like, I don't know, crazy price. So like
Silly money before it goes to the past 2.
I don't know what it was about that set that made that happen, but
It was the structure deck.
No, as in, I don't know what happened that made us all just miss that it was going to be expensive. Do you know what I mean? Because like we knew Branded Fusion was coming out, we knew it was going to be good, but I guess it wasn't until like a little bit before that it's like suddenly everyone's like, okay, no, let's get this card.
It was just kind of far away, so you'll just be like, I'll get it later. Like, oh, it's now. I better go get it. Oh, it's $25. Crap.
That was literally. I remember telling myself, because I really liked Branded. I remember telling myself, I'm gonna get it. Then I saw the price and I was like, no. I was like, Simeon. Like I was hovering over, and I was like, there's no way I can ever justify myself by spending like 200 and whatever pounds on just one playset of a card that I know is going to get reprinted. I was like, there's no point. So I was like, no.
Yeah, and then it got reprinted, and it wasn't like the same price for like the first week.
Yeah,
Like,
I
they
bought
were
it at that
both, like-
price. Don't talk to me about that.
The Super still held up for a while.
Yeah,
after
they held up
They
for
were
a
still
bit,
like
yeah.
$8 or something. Even
Yeah.
after a few weeks, I was like, how are these still money when there's a prismatic secret or whatever? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were on about Alubas. Yeah, I bought Alubas Ghost from the Past 2 on pre-sale at 100, and then they went down to 40 a week later.
Yeah.
They're $1 now. They're nothing.
Lich, they were
crazy.
This is like that's Fabs. That's my tier issues. That's my issues. The core. That's my issues.
I do have. Speaking of Dark Magician, I did a video where I spent $4,000 on a Dark Magician deck, which was basically all staples and then some Dark Magician cards. But the big Dark Magician card was the Magician Souls before Season 3. $150 a pop. As soon as I did it, Legendary Duelist Season 3 got announced, and they went down to 50 each. And I was like,
my gosh.
I spent almost $500 on a
Painful.
playset.
Gosh, shut.
I'm not even a card that matters. Like it matters in that deck, but not for $500.
Yeah, that was one of the cards that initially. It's funny because before Illusion of Chaos came out, that card was so expensive, so good, and then Illusion of Chaos was announced, and it's like this card is going to be amazing, and then it proceeded to do nothing after that. Like no one ever played it again. Like it just, I think Prosperity probably came out around the time. So like I don't know, that just stopped people caring about that card. But just on the Marionette Might thing, I want to point out something to everyone. By the way, congrats to Jesse Cotton for winning his 6th.
Big up
thing. But look, guys,
man.
I feel like the levels of like dominating the meta that Jesse and Pac have done, I think is absolutely hilarious. So I'm gonna rip the story now in case anyone has not realized what happened. Jesse and Pac knew that Unchained was a good choice into the meta. Took it to YCS, the 3v3 YCS, dominated with it, revealed their lists, and this is the thing, they don't usually reveal their lists that quickly, but they revealed their lists, and then for the next event, they planned to beat the mirror, and then took the slightly adjusted list to that event, which Jesse then won, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Like, I was thinking, this is so hilarious. Like, you have to, but it's like you have to be at a certain level of skill to even do that, which I think is absolutely insane. Like, how can you go to an event, know you're gonna win, use that to game the meta, and then go to another event and capitalize on that? Like when I saw that Marionette Might, I was like, this card is terrible. And Jesse even said in his video, he's like, yeah, and now everyone's going to be like playing like those Change of Heart cards and stuff, but it's okay, I'll just keep Shavara in hand, so it'll be fine. And I was thinking, he's already just told you guys, like, this card that you guys, so this Marionette Might card, like, my advice to everyone, don't buy it. Jesse's already said he knows how to counter it. So it's like, don't buy that card, it's not going to work. You're gonna chain it, he's going to chain Shavara, and you're just going to lose resources. But I think it's absolutely amazing how they've gamed the meta, and they're, I mean, the fact that he's even got a sick ring as well is pretty insane. So yeah, these guys are top tier players.
It was like the old Patrick Hoban strat, right?
Yeah. Well,
I will never. No, not the.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Yeah.
No, do you not remember? It was like, I think it was him, Jeff Jones.
Yes.
A bunch of other American players, and basically, what they did was, they convinced everyone. I can't remember what exactly.
It was in Road of the King. I can't remember what, but I know what you're talking about. You were saying they picked a certain tech, and they were like they didn't release it until later in the format.
Yeah, they were. I think it was like Mermail. And they were convincing everyone that like Mermail was the best deck, Mermail was the best deck, going to all these regionals and topping, and then going to a YCS, playing Sylvan, which was the best deck of the format, and just absolutely trouncing everyone because it had a great Mermail matchup.
The funny thing about that as well is they were like, so it was 3 of them, and there was like one of them at the last second like lost confidence and decided to play Mermail's instead. No, he decided to play like
dropping it.
Yeah, and he just lost. The other 2 guys, they stuck to the game plan and they played Sylvans. But yes, the exact same thing. Hoban is really good at that. He talked a lot about that in Road of the King, about again exactly what Jesse's doing, which is like kind of controlling the meta. And he even said it's like, yeah, you need to be good already to do that. But once you do that, he was like, you're at the highest level, like nothing can really stop you. But I think that's really awesome.
Definitely.
I think it is, but it is. So it's really weird because, like you said, you have to be a certain level of popularity to do that. But also, I think like you have to be respected, right?
Yeah.
So way back when. When Patrick Hoban and those guys did it, it was you would rely on like Pojo or like those forums or like very few YouTube videos to be like this.
Pojo, oh my gosh, yes, I remember Pojo forums.
And then like that was how they did it, and then like that was kind of the only source of information you had. But nowadays, it's like if, for example, like if there was X random person, like for example, there's a player right now, Luke Tyler, who's like winning a ton of UK regionals with branded Chimera. It's like if there was just a video of him doing that, and then he was like, yeah, everyone's gonna watch this, and now I can go to an event playing the perfect counter to branded. It like doesn't work because he's not like a prominent enough name. And he doesn't have a platform, whereas someone like Jesse Cotton, or for example,
Pac as well.
Yeah, Pac. I'm trying to think of like a British player.
There are none. Yeah, British players don't exist.
Yeah, let's say like the Disciples, for example. Yeah,
British players
They're
don't
not,
exist,
like-
bro.
Do you know the only reason why I won't say Disciples? Because both Marcus, Alex, and Jess, all three of them have been violating with Rika for like 10 years now, guys. And we still don't respect it. We still no. When British players do it, no one takes them seriously, and then they proceed to do it year after year after year. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're not as well known on the online scene. Like the British content creators are most of the British pro players aren't as big content creators as the American ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, no disrespect,
Like,
man,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah, no, it's just
So,
that they're sort of the
that's
fixed
kind
on.
of-
But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you
Yeah.
have to be like
You have to be at that
now
level.
on, like popularity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people can't get. And you have to have receipts as well. It's Joshua
definitely.
Schmidt is a perfect example.
Yeah, he would be
Why did
starting
I
off
say
as.
the Disciples when like Joshua Schmidt exists?
Yeah,
You know
he
what?
could
Joshua
100%
Schmidt
do
is
it.
like, yeah.
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 It is.
Ruxin, do you have any tips for anyone looking to win a YCS?
Oh,
Have you done it enough times?
Yeah, that's true. The key is just make sure you win all your matches. You have to win them. Because if you lose, you're not going to win. That's the important thing to remember. Very key
I like it.
to winning a
Yeah.
YCS. I didn't realize that at first, but it worked out. I figured it out eventually.
I feel
Yeah,
like you need to
yeah.
release a wave of Merc with these kind of really inspirational quotes. It's quite legendary. If you
Yeah, I'll
lose,
put them on
just-
my wall. They'll be back here soon.
remember,
Just
if you
wait.
lose, you're not going to win. I'm going to remember that
Yeah.
one. That's
Yeah.
a strong quote.
Just think about that in your next match. Like, oh, I better not lose this one.
Oh,
You
lovely.
said I can do it. Like,
All right,
love
should we go on to Am I the Arsehole then?
yeah.
Yes,
do it,
so
let's do it, let's do it.
Ruxin, I don't think I mentioned this to you. Are you familiar with the subreddit Am I the Asshole?
I'm not.
So, Fabs, would you like to describe it to us?
So essentially, people post stories on Reddit, and they'll essentially ask, "Am I the arsehole for doing this thing or not doing this thing?" And so I'm going to read out the story, and then we'll discuss what we think about this person. Now, I have a feeling we're all going to have the same opinion about this one, but I just couldn't avoid it because it was mad when I read it. And it is titled. The title of this is "Am I the arsehole for selling my boyfriend's Yu-Gi-Oh cards to help him quit?"
Ooh.
Yes. So here's the story. So Rage get it's already had enough.
Wow, he's done. I can't handle that. That's just too much for me.
Oh gosh. Okay, so my boyfriend was a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Was a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Peak. He kind of played a lot, but then recently he began giving up more and more until he basically quit it. He told me that he wants to completely quit and he's doing an effort. He didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh for like a year, but he keeps his cards anyway. Anyway, to help him completely quit 100% playing, I tried selling his cards and decks. He had many cards like Ash Blossom, Dark Magician, Hand Traps, etc. Many expensive cards that can get good money, and I bought a gift from him to congratulate him getting over this childish hobby and this children's card game. I bought him an expensive smartwatch. He was very happy when he got the watch, but then he discovered his cards were missing. I told him what happened and he was furious. Oh my god. I told him that he always tells me he wants to quit, and I helped him by getting rid of the stuff he doesn't need. He started crying and said that I shouldn't have done this to his cards. He even threw away the smartwatch I bought for him. I don't understand why he would keep the cards if he already quit. Am I the asshole?
Yes. Yes, you
That's
are.
wrong. You gotta tell him. That's messed up. That is so sad. That's like the classic story of when you're a kid. Your mom's like, "You're done with these." She just throws them away, and they're like, "Yeah, I had so many great cards."
Yeah.
And you just don't have a choice. When you don't have a choice, it's just so wrong.
Yeah, this is what
That
I don't know, man.
That is a madness.
Honest, so like I've been with my girlfriend for a good few years now. If I said I wanted to quit and she dared even like on my behalf try to sell a single card of mine, even if it was a common, I would be livid. Like I would be so mad. Like those are my cards. You don't have to say it.
I think even if we take out the word Yu-Gi-Oh cards and we put in like, I don't know, let's say for example he wants to give up fishing, like say he's got like a rod that's worth a load of money, or like golf, golf club, whatever. Like deep in it, that's his property.
It's absolutely right, wild.
If he wants to quit, that's his like prerogative to do that. Let him do that at his own pace. It's not affecting unless it's affecting your life. He's selling. He's you can't put bread on the table because he's spending it on fucking meta staples or whatever, then that's a different story. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. Like, it just sounds like
you should just leave it.
Yeah,
you shouldn't sell his
point,
stuff.
fair
You know,
point.
you should be like, I'm out of here if you're going to keep buying these cards. You shouldn't take them and go sell them online.
it's
Fair point.
mad.
That's
I
a
like
fair
how
point.
in the post they're like, that he had Ash Blossom, Dark Mage, like all these names. Like, how did she know the names? Is she like, did she buy them and like she's secretly playing the deck or something?
Yeah,
Nah,
she sold.
Yeah. She secretly a plant from another team, so she got all of his cards sold. Or something. Yeah, that was the entire strategy. Oh gosh,
She's an asshole.
This is. I thought it was just wild, to be honest. Yeah, I think she's an asshole too. I think as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't nice when she said this childish hobby. Like, look, it is a children's card game, but everyone has their hobbies, and one of the things, one of the things that I feel like I've come to grips with as a grown up is like, yeah, I have a kid's hobby, but it's not childish. It's just I like a kid's game. What's wrong with that? Like, everyone has that part of that thing that they're interested in. So
Yeah, exactly. And like, being a grown up doesn't mean all your hobbies have to be like accounting and like boring stuff. It's what keeps you in it, like holding on to your inner child.
yeah, literally.
Sorry, Tom, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, children's card game, try and explain to a child the difference between when you can, and if.
I don't even know the difference in those. So
Yeah.
exactly, like
I was gonna say, man,
See, it's impossible. How's a kid supposed to understand this thing?
Right? That's the fucking
Yeah.
But like if like to bring it back a notch, obviously like I think everyone's established that she is the asshole.
Yes.
But like even because there are relationships where like they've been together for so long and like both parties have access to the other's assets for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's like even then, like you have complete control over each other's like assets, quote unquote, right? You still
ask.
talk to the person, right?
Yeah.
You still go through it because I know for a fact if I ever did quit the game, which I probably never will, I'll be 60 years old still trying to normal summon Alistair. Like
Chad.
I know that there are cards that I'd want to keep a hold of.
Yeah.
Like there's cards that I love from this game. Like I've got like my Orcas collection, like I've already mentioned today. Like Ruxin, for example, has like you love your like Dark Magician stuff. You just love all the old cards. And it's like that kind of thing is like I would never want to get rid of those. So at least I could like portray that, and then if she then wanted to go ahead and sell the other stuff, sure, now I know. But like to just do it behind your back is
Snaky in it.
yeah.
Yeah. The other thing as well is I'm very sure she didn't get good value for those cards because she was like she bought him a smartwatch. Even an expensive smartwatch is like max 200 quid. If you're selling like if he has Dark Magician, it's gonna be some like random rare old one. He's got hand traps and all of that. Like there's no way all of this stuff sold for 200 quid. So I feel like she probably just went bulk sale or something like that. She just went claim sale on the trading group.
Worth it, innit?
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "Heck yeah, I'll take it."
Yeah.
It's like no, it's like the TV show Pawn Stars. It turns out it's like, yeah, I've got all these really expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Best I can do is $5.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Only did she violate him, she got scammed.
Yeah, definitely got scammed. There's no way you're selling all of that stuff for like what I don't know, like a £200 smartwatch. What the heck? No way.
No shot.
But yeah, guys.
Just sold for vendor rates. That was all.
But any last words from anyone before we close off on this episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh show?
Don't sell your partner's cards or anything of theirs, really.
Or if you do sell them to me, I will give you good prices. I promise. Yeah, just yeah. But
if you watch this, be sure to at Ruxin on Twitter with the hashtag Pot of Greed to 3.
Mirage Nightmare, bring him back.
Mirage Nightmare to 3. Yeah, it's good.
Lovely. Yeah, no, Ruxin, have you got any shout-outs or anything before we close off the show?
Just thank you guys for having me on. It's been super fun. It was great to meet you guys and chat it up. There's some good topics. I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
That last one is definitely interesting with some posts you could bring up. So
Very, very interesting.
Thank you so much for coming on, Ruxin.
Yeah,
This has been a hoot and a holler.
hugely appreciated. As you guys know as well, this is the penultimate episode of this season of the Yu-Gi-Oh show. So our next episode is going to be a very, very special episode. It's been an incredible journey, and as you can see, having epic guests like Ruxin makes everything really, really worth it. So thank you guys if you've been here and been watching.
Yeah,
and
thank
for
you.
anyone specifically in Birmingham, because I had like 6 people ask me over the last week, like, when's the next episode coming out? You haven't released it. It's here now, guys. You can stop asking me, and I'm joking. No, keep asking me. It makes my head big. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. It's really awesome. Yeah, subscribe, and we'll talk to you all soon. Peace.